All right, so now we're going to go into a real-time example of the fair value gap and the other things that we have just learned together, right? So here on the daily on AUD USD, we have a fair value gap that was established here. And I even turned on a FEG indicator to try and see if it would actually give me the right data that I needed. And of course, it did not. So it did not call this. But this right here is the current FEG that AUD USD is in. And it also has two different supplies that have not been retouched that we are waiting on price to go to. We also have identified what? The lowest peak, right? So this is our peak, if it will let me do it. All right. So our peak was identified here. So everything now, where is our line? I need a straight line, vertical line. Okay. Everything behind this line is previous data. Everything in front of this line is present data. We need to focus on what we are doing with present data, while also hindsight is 2020. So we can also focus on what's happening behind us to give us more clarity of what's happening in front of us, right? Same thing with life. So we have that fair value gap that price is in right now. Let's go to a lower time frame and look at that fair value gap. That gap now goes from here to here. So it's the same thing like if you were drawing out your supply and demand. We have two FEGs now overlapping each other on two different time frames, higher time frames, which are more predominant. Let's go to the 1 hour and let's look at what the 1 hour looks like, where that was left. We have the same thing. It was left in the exact same place as the 4 hour. So now we have three FEGs stacked on top of each other, three gaps that need to be filled, but also can have price react off of them, right? So let's go to the lower time frames and let's see if there are any that were left on lower time frames. Let's see. We have a small one here. But I personally, I gotta fix that. Go back. I am personally not concerned with, where can I touch? Okay. With the FEG that's right here, because I'm more concerned with the supply and the demand that are happening right here on the 15-minute. So here's your 15-minute and the one that is happening on the 5-minute. And what I'm waiting for is for price to come up into here. I'm going to take a sell when it gets here. It's inside the FEG. It's also hitting supply, two supplies that have not been retested. And if it decides to, and it can decide to, but if it decides to go all the way back up to that daily right there and retest that, it can do that also. And when it does, if that's the point that it makes, this will cancel out this peak right here that has been the winning peak so far for the highest peak. This will become a lower high and there will be a new higher high. And once that higher high is formed, say it touches this daily supply, it's still inside two FEGs. And now we have a solid drop that will go all the way down to this 1 hour, which is also the previous high of the day. So anyway, that just goes over everything. Well, let's also, before we go, let's look at these structure points of what we identified before, right? We identified these. Text, brush, okay. So this would be a structure point. This. Well, let's go back in and let's look deeper at this. Let's go to a higher time frame because it's easier to identify these on a higher time frame. Oh, stop it. I have to delete all of this that I've done. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to delete it. I need to go back to this. Oh, it's because I kept drawing it on top of each other. Okay. Let's get rid of these. Okay. So now these are much clearer structure points right here. Can you see those clearly now? Look at this. I think I'm going to use the triangle or the rectangle just so I can form the right thing here. So give me 1 second. All right. Well, I did that one wrong. Bear with me, guys. There's your structure point right there. And then there's your structure point right there. There's another structure point. There's another structure point. All of these structure points, as we identified before, look at them. I gotta delete all these because it's gonna confuse Ryan, but look at this. There's a structure point. Look at the break right there. I'm gonna delete that one. And then we're gonna draw another one. Here's another structure point. Got broke immediately. Another structure point. Broke immediately. These are all bullish structure points that continued to get broken going up. What are we looking for now? We're looking for price to have dominated as bullish and say, hey, I'm staying here. This is where I'm going to respect, and I'm going to go down from here. And then we'd be looking for, okay, now is price going to drop here and keep going down? Is it going to keep going up and then form another one that's higher than this one and then go down? And it has to come back and start retesting these supplies and these structure points. It has to come back and break them, right? All bearish structure points get left for bearish movement to break it. All bullish structure points that get left are for bullish structure or bullish movement to break it. All right. I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, let me know and I can get on a call with you. I can help you in any way that you need. We want you guys to actually get this, to comprehend it, but not just comprehend it, to execute it and to be consistent and disciplined with this. So utilize our resources, utilize these trainings, and let's rock. See you guys in the trading room.